Hello everyone. Today I am going to say about the summary of a poem Lycidas. Lycidas is written by John Milton. In my previous class, I have explained about the poet John Milton. Lycidas, it is a pastoral elegy. It had written in the memory of poet's friend Edward King. John Milton and Edward King were good friends at Cambridge University. Edward King died while traveling on the Irish Sea. He had drowned and died. John Milton called his friend as Lycidas in this poem. This poem is in iambic pentameter and follows the conventions of the pastoral elegy. Milton was a classical poet. He had studied classical literature. In pastoral elegy, speaker treated himself as shepherd and he invokes muses to describe the procession of mourners and flowers being strewn on the corpse in preparation for burial. Milton uses water as metaphor to call on the muses. He describes his friendship with Edward King. The two young men are portrayed as fellow shepherds. Milton asked nymphs, muses, river god why they have failed to protect King. Milton criticized the Church of England is served by unworthy priests who are more interested in self advancement than in being shepherds to their parishioners. Parishioners means a member of a particular parish, especially one who frequently goes to church. After the death of in this Lycidas poem, it is not only the reminiscences of his friend Edward King, and there is a hidden meaning also. So this is the hidden meaning that Edward King criticized the supremacy of the church and the priests of the church. After the death of King Edward, a number of King's Cambridge buddies, including John Milton, put together a two-part collection of poems as a tribute to their fallen comrade. The second part was called Obsequies to the memory of Mr. Edward King. Lycidas was the last and longest poem in the part. Obsequies means things that are formally said and done at a funeral. So Lycidas is written by John Milton. It is a pastoral elegy. Elegy means a poem which is written in the memory of a dead person. Pastoral convents were used in this poem. In this pastoral elegy, speaker called himself as shepherd. In this poem, poet reminisces his friend's death, Edward King. Poet and his friend called as shepherds and fellow shepherds. Poet's friend was Edward King. They were friends in Cambridge University. His friend Edward King was died accidentally in a shipwreck. Edward King drowned and died on the Irish Sea. So John Milton called his friend Edward King as Lycidas. John Milton and his buddies of Cambridge University put together two-part collection of poems as a tribute to their fallen comrade. The second part was called Obsequies to the memory of Edward King. Lycidas was last and longest poem in this part. Obsequies means the things are formally done at a funeral. Lycidas is in iambic pentameter with a regular rhyme scheme. John Milton invokes muses to describe the procession of mourners and the flowers which have been used in the burial. John Milton was a classical poet. He studied classical literature. So the entire poem is about the grievance of John Milton of losing his friend Edward King. So this is the summary of the Lycidas. Thank you everyone.